And also try to start to work on brain 3, okay? If you
Yes.
haven't started, try to. And if you are almost done, please finish it, okay? Oh, and in the last test of from unit 1 to unit 5, we are going to do it in our class. So if you haven't do it did it yet, sorry, done yet, don't do it, because
Okay.
we're going to work on the class. Got it?
Okay. Yes.
Excellent.
I'll try
Hi.
to finish today.
Okay, if not, don't worry. You have the weekend, but try to do it before Monday.
Okay.
Hello, Irvin. How are you?
Hello, good morning. I'm very good, and you?
I am happy to see you again. Well, to hear you.
Uh, thank you.
Thank you. Okay, I think we can start. I am just taking the attendance list. So I'm going to share my screen. As I was mentioned before, this is a short review of Unit 4. Got it? And then we are going to practice. Let me know if you're able to see the screen.
Yes.
Excellent. So I'm going to put the full screen. Okay, so we are going to have a comparison between present perfect and simple past, which was our first topic of this unit. So let me see if Raquel help me read.
Present perfect versus simple past. We use the present perfect for indefinite times before now. Examples: I have eaten beans all this week. My brother has ridden a motorcycle several times. I have gone swimming for years.
Thank you. Did you remember when do we use a present perfect? Let me see, Irving?
Yeah, we use present perfect in indefinite times.
And when it is, they are repeated actions or action that hasn't finished yet. Okay, for example, all this weekend, because this weekend hasn't finished yet, we can use a present perfect because it is an action that hasn't finished yet. And to repeated action or for indefinite times like this for years. I don't have the specific time, but I know that they are years, okay?
Okay.
Oh, and do you remember what is the main difference between simple past and present perfect?
Yeah, the perfect. In the past, the simple past is the action finished in the past. For example, the example is I ate beans the last week, and the perfect the action maybe continues, but in the past maybe I don't remember.
In the simple past, actions stopped in the past. For example, last week in 2010 or yesterday. We started the action yesterday and we finished the action yesterday. But I think the main difference regarding to the structure, maybe it's the verb. What is the difference? Or why can we say that the main difference in the structure is the verb? Alejandra, sorry. Raquel?
Yes. Yes, what?
Why do we say that the main difference between present perfect and simple past about structure, it's the verb?
Uh, the verb have.
Teacher, you're mute.
Thank you. Yes, we have the auxiliary have in the present perfect, but also we modified the verb like here. This is simple present, this is simple past, and this is past participle. Okay?
Okay.
Those are the modification of the verb. And I think that's the most noticed or important difference in the structure about these two structures, and you have to memorize the modifications of the verbs, okay? The different tenses. So, give me a second. Can you give me an example, Irving, about present perfect? One sentence in present perfect and the same one, but in simple past.
Okay. I have um I have practiced I have practiced my English. Yeah, I practice my English all time.
Okay.
And the past, the simple past. My brother ate vegetables for her healthy for his healthy.
His health. Okay. Thank you. Just maybe try to change the verb at the end all the time, because if we say all the time, we're talking about simple past, simple present, like routines. Got it? But if you say the
Okay.
same, I've practiced English maybe this week or this semester or this course, because you start this activity, but one day we'll start. Okay? Or several times. Got it?
Okay. Got it.
Okay. Thank you. Jorge, did you remember the difference between for and since?
No, teacher.
Okay. And Raquel?
Can you repeat the question, please?
Did you remember the last the difference between for and since?
Mm, I understand since is about a period of time. Uh, I mean, mm, since since a start point or point of a start, I don't know how to say. Since something begin, I use since, and for is like a preposition. I don't know if I'm right.
Uh, Almost. We use for to talk about periods or length of time. For example, I studied English in Ireland for 2 years. It's a period of time. It has like a beginning and an end. And with since I am talking just about the specific point in which I started an action. For example, I am in the class, or I have been in the class since 8 o'clock, just the beginning. And if I use for, I have the two endings, or the beginning or the end. Got it? And in this one, I just have and since the beginning. Got it?
Got it.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. We received this class yesterday, so maybe for the ones that haven't checked the video, watched the video, please do it. Okay. Irving, can you give me an example?
Okay. Using for and since.
You can choose one. You can have
Mm.
get a or bring an example using for or using since.
Okay. I arrived to my house for 5 minutes. And the other things, I studied programmer language for 3 years ago.
Can you repeat your first
For the four, I don't remember. I
I arrived at home, I think.
I arrived to my house for 5 minutes.
Okay, for 5 minutes implies that you start an action and you finish the action. So if you say I arrived, I understand that then you return to maybe your job or you go out again. If you are going to use for, you have to pay attention on the context, because if you tell me I arrive at or to my house at for 5 minutes, I don't remember your time, I understand that then you go out again. But if you say I arrived to my house since 8 o'clock, or yes, you give a time, sorry, I know that you come back to our house and and you stay at home, and then you didn't go out again. Got it?
Yes, got it.
Okay, thank you. Raquel, can you give me an example using since?
Mm, I haven't eaten hamburger since 4 months. Wow.
Okay. Since maybe
Uh,
you can say the month.
I haven't eaten a hamburger since February.
Okay, thank you. And finally, Jorge, help me read. No, you don't have to read. Just explain me the difference between always, already, and yet. Jorge, are you there? If not, Irving.
Yes, sorry. Perfect, perfect, present perfect with already and yet.
Oh, but you don't have to read. Just
What?
explain me the difference between already and yet.
Already is uh, um, I don't know how to explain without already. Already. uh, uh, when an action haven't start, and yet is when an action has finished.
Okay, thank you. And what about you, Irving? What do you think?
Yeah, already is the action happen early, um, and yet the action finish,
Mm-hmm.
or maybe the yet, so the action maybe never happened.
Uh-huh. You were expecting that this happened, but never happened. Uh-huh.
Yes.
So we use already two actions that you were expected that happen. For example, at 8 o'clock, and you finish before this time. You finish at 7 o'clock. For example, I have finished or my homework, or I have already finished my homework. Finished my homework, and just that. The expected time or hour was 8 o'clock. Wait. But you finish before this time. You finish at 6 or at 7. So you say, I have already finished my homework because the action happened earlier than we were expecting. Got it? And we use yet to talk about actions that we expected to happen or not, but I mean, they don't happen, okay? Never. It has been decided yet. I don't have the decision. No yet. It hasn't watered the flowers yet. Let's suppose this is my son, and I told this morning, my son, please, David, water the flowers. But when I come back to my house at night and I ask for the water, the flowers, I noticed that he hasn't watered the flowers yet. So the action, never. Or I am still waiting to do the action. Got it?
Okay.
So Irving, can you give me an example using already?
Okay. I have already watched the documentary. Is the correct for the documentary? Okay, I have already watched the documentary on the TV.
Okay. And you were expecting to do it maybe at 9, but you already did it. Very good job.
Yes.
Raquel, can you give me an example using yet? Maybe about your homework?
Mm, or I couldn't finish my homework yet.
Mm-hmm. And remember that the most common tense for these words already and yet, we use present perfect. It's the most
Oh,
common, but you can use another ones. Okay.
okay.
So we are going to practice because we are in a speaking practice today. So all that you have to do is to read. Give me a second. Oh, that's not here. Okay, you have to read this text. It's about an experience for someone like famous, something like that. And then after to read, you comment what you understand and tell the best experience of your childhood. Got it? So
Okay.
try to open it, read, comment, and then tell the best experience of your childhood. Got it? Just give me a second. I will come back to the class. Give me a second. Okay, guys. Sorry, I'm already here. How is everything going? Are you reading?
Yes.
Okay, and Raquel and Jorge? Jorge? Are you reading? Raquel, are you reading? Please let me know if you finished.
Okay.
I finished.
Okay, thank you. Finish? Irving and Jorge?
Yes.
Okay, excellent. So let me see. Raquel, what can you do about the the text?
What can I do?
Can you say? What did you learn about this old man?
I think he have many interesting conversation if someone wants to talk with him.
Why?
Because they were in other countries and uh, tried the food of that countries, and they known the royal family and famous people.
Okay, thank you, Raquel. And what about you, Irving? What did you learn about it?
Okay, I tell that was a good text because he expressed his travels, met different people, eat different food. For example, he said, uh, I ate rat and I don't remember the other rat
Cat?
and cat in India. So it's interesting because uh, express all the place he work works or worked in the army for five 51 years, and so yeah, it was interesting because explained his travels in different places, met different people, so it was good.
Okay, excellent. And let me see. Can you um, tell me the best experience of your childhood? Maybe Raquel,
Can you repeat, please?
can you tell us the best experience of your childhood?
Mm, I don't know if it is the best, but yeah, once I visited Chalatenango, a river of Chalatenango, with my neighbors, and I remember the water was mm, cold, but it was fun. eh, Challenge to my neighbors who was the first in swim in the cold water.
Okay, that's a cute and interesting story. Thank you,
Thank
Raquel.
you.
And I love Chalatenango too. Irving, can you tell us the best experience of your childhood?
Yes, I remember that visited different museum, and the army museum, the naval museum, and we learned the different weapons, different, I don't know, airplanes, uh, guns, yeah, and different stories because it's important in this country. So it's the history, and yeah, I remember that the experience. Uh, I don't know how do you say subir up. It's
Up,
the same.
up
Yeah,
or race, depending on the context.
I up and the military car. So yeah, was the good experience because it was my first time in the military car. So yeah, for me, it's the best experience in my childhood, but exist others. So yeah, this is my first experience in the museum and learn the different history.
Okay, excellent. Thank you. Giovanni, can you tell us your best experience of your childhood? Are you there? If not, we are going to continue. Can you see my screen, right? You can?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. So we are going to continue with our interviews, questions. And you are going to try to talk about your experience about your new position or your last positions and other jobs using present perfect, because this will help you to sound more natural. The questions are, where you're balancing multiple projects? How do you keep yourself organizing? Explain two differences between structured programming and object-oriented programming. Explain what an ORM, my goodness, ORM is and how it works, and give examples. And what does the singleton pattern do? And what does the common pattern do? There are a lot of questions, so as I mentioned yesterday, search for vocabulary, correct vocabulary, learn, not memorize, learn how to answer a question, and then we are going to come back here to answer them, like an interview, okay? So right now, what you have to do is to, if you don't have any answer about this, search for it, okay? And then we are
Okay.
going to come back to talk about this. Got it? Try to use the appropriate vocabulary, and then we come back.
Okay.
You can also use indeed, as we did with, yesterday. Indeed. Give me a second, I'm going to show you. Sorry, I am turning off my camera because it's too slow. Okay, so here it is. I want to share the link with you. You can here search oh, it's too slow. But here you will find jobs, and you will learn some vocabulary here. So you can use it. You can use this website to learn vocabulary adequate to interviews. and you try to answer your questions, okay?
Thank you.
Thank you. Can you hear me, guys?
Yes.
Okay, and can you see the screen?
Yes. But
Okay,
this the needing website.
okay, thank you. Okay, I cannot right now show you how to use this website, but you know, it's just search for a job, search for vocabulary, and then try to answer your question. Okay, so
Okay.
continue, please. Hello, guys. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Okay. And what about you, Raquel?
Uh,
Oh,
I couldn't answer all the questions.
oh, don't worry. Don't worry.
Okay.
You can practice like at homework. You don't need to send anything, but try to do it because you know it's for you to be hired. So I'm going to try to share my screen because I don't know what's happening with my computer. I will try
But I will save these questions because
in the PPT. So if you cannot take a screenshot or something like that, it will be in the presentation. Okay. So, Irvin, are
uh,
you ready?
I
Yeah.
don't understand.
I mean, if you want to save the questions, you can take a screenshot. And if not,
One of the main
sorry. I don't know what is happening with my computer. I'm having a lot of problems here. And I cannot share with you the screen. So if you want, Irvin, if you want to start, you can do it, but I cannot show you the questions.
Okay, teacher, no problem. It's an interview, and the interview and never see the question.
You can see the questions.
No.
Ah, okay. Okay, just continue.
Yes.
Can you see the screen, guys?
No. Yes.
Okay, okay. Start, Irvin. Choose or answer the question that you finished.
All question or I choose
Choose
maybe.
two.
Okay. I choose the three, um, two and three.
Okay.
Question two and three. Okay. Okay. Explain the difference between the structured programming and object-oriented programming. Okay. In this case, and for OOP, and the difference between are is the good structure because you separate and different or yeah different things we work code. For example, the herency abstraction, and yeah, and you separate and work um, the code is a good practice because we use the real object and we uh, pass to programming language. Yeah, the other difference for the object oriented programming or OOP is the all programming language use this paradigm because it's important in all words in all companies, and we use with different frameworks and different programming language. For example, PHP use the oriented the OOP and the structure maybe design of MVC. Yeah, because you we need to work with this partner, a structure partner, and later passed to Laravel or other framework. We use the OOP. So our difference to the OOP, and we can use the OOP and have the good practice, and the use and the other is use the other frameworks and with the other programming language. So and the last question, explain what ORM is and now how it's work. Give an example of ORM. Okay, the ORM is the object relation mapper. So it's a interpreter of database. I I use the programming language and database, but this interpreter use different queries. For example, uh, I use programming PHP and I execute, for example, the query select fronts and table name and, and all data, but the interpreter send the data um, and the interpreter use other query. Yeah, it's different. So it's a good example because it's a good practice and use the ORM because uh, I I needn't write the query, so the interpreter do for me and send the data of the database in the programming language or inverse.
Okay,
Thank you.
thank you, Irving. Raquel, are you ready? If you want, because of the
Yes.
time, okay, because of the time, just choose one or two, but
The
no,
first.
one. Okay, where you're balancing multiple projects and how do you keep yourself organized? Okay, do it.
Okay. First of all, helps me to do a list with my task, um, and then I can order each activity with its deadline, and I put it in my Google Calendar because I receive notifications. So I know how much time I have for do my activities.
Okay. And in the computer, because a programmer has a lot of windows opened.
Mm. In my computer, I don't use a calendar. Oh, well, Google Calendar helps me too because in my computer I can see it too, but I use sticky notes. I used to put my activities on sticky notes, and in that way I can see which activity I have completed or which activity isn't completed. Mm, that's that's all.
Okay, thank you. Just be careful when you use that's in general. If you say help me to do a list, what am I wanted to say? I understand this sentence like, please help me to do a list. If you want to say that to do a list, to do a list help you to be organized, you can do it like that. Organized. To do lists or to do a list help me to be organized.
Mm,
Because if you say
okay.
help me to do a list, it's like a favor.
Okay, I have to change the order of the sentence.
Exactly. The order of a sentence can change completely the context or the sense of it. Okay?
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. And what's the meaning of that?
Solía.
But if you want to say that you already do or you still do something, you have to use I am used to. If you don't say I am, it's you are talking in the past. So try to avoid talking in the past because maybe in case that they ask you for an experience. For the rest, both did it very well. I am very proud of you. I know you can do it and you will get the job that you want. Just as I mentioned before, as I mentioned yesterday, if you want to apply to any specific company, you have to investigate what they do to maybe have an idea what they can ask you. And for that, you can be prepared. Maybe if they work with JavaScript or HTML, you can be prepared and investigate as much as you can or practice, and that's all. Okay.
Okay, teacher.
Okay, thank you for the suggestions.
Okay, thank you to pay attention. Okay, that's all for the class. I'm going to record it to stop the recording. Oh, but first of all, just try to finish. I know that Irvin, I'm almost sure that Irvin already finished PREINTERM3, right?
What the platform?
But PREINTERM3, the number 2.
Yes.
Okay, try to advance if you haven't finished PREINTERM3. I haven't checked it, sorry, I don't know exactly your advance, your progress, but try to finish because our next class will be a review and maybe we are going to have or take the test in the class, during the class. So maybe the only thing that you have to the only thing that has to be completed on the platform is the last test from unit 1 to unit 5, because we're going to do it next class. But for the rest, you have to finish. Okay?
Teacher,
Yes.
when they finish the course?
I will ask the exact date, because I don't have your your exactly time, because I haven't been with you since print 1, so I don't know if you are almost done with your 3 months, but I think that will be on Monday or this coming Tuesday, one of those 2 days.
Okay.
So we are almost ready to be hired, right?
Okay.
Okay, guys, that's all. I'm going to